Hi, everyone. I'm Jay Rosenzweig. I'm the owner of birthparentfinder.com. This is the birthparentfinder.com podcast. We have a very, very special guest. Her name is Ann Lewis, and she's going to be telling us her story about her adoption and why she hired us. And just to brief you real quick, we had a story that aired a few weeks ago on CBS News, and it went national. And Ann saw the story, and because of the story, Ann contacted us, and we solved her case. And it's pretty amazing what we found, and we will share that with you in a few minutes. We have maybe one or two special guests. And Ann, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. So tell us what motivated you at this point of your life to look for your birth parents.
Oh, let's see. It's something, I've obviously thought about my whole life. But felt very loyal to my parents and just didn't really think that they would appreciate me looking for my birth parents. So I just kind of put it in the back of my mind and got busy with life. And I've had a couple friends talk about doing it. And so it's come up now and then. And it just kind of the last couple of years, it started kind of bubbling up again more and more. And I just somehow a shift happened where I kind of thought, okay, I think I'm going to do it. So it just kind of, I did the DNA test, which I don't have the results back for yet, but then I saw your show, or you were on a show that I was watching, and I thought, oh, well, they do exactly what I want. So why don't I call them?
So let me ask you this, and I know I always speak to my clients beforehand, give them the expectations. Did you really expect this to get solved before you got your DNA results?
I never even gave that any thought.
But did you expect it to get solved that quickly?
No.
And real quick, before we bring in our guest, who you've never seen before, but you have spoken, the first thing I found when doing my research for you was that I looked for birth records of a possible, that maybe your birth parents had another child. And sure enough, on a whim, I found that you had a full-blooded brother, it looked like. And it's like, oh my God, I don't believe this. This is crazy. And I got a hold of Bruce, who lives in Oregon. And it turns out Bruce has been looking, he took a DNA test. He's been looking for his family too. So I introduced myself to Bruce. He was kind of floored and in a good way. And we told him we would help him along the way because we were helping you. And as it turns out that your birth mother has passed, we have told Bruce that. And in the process, we found her living sister. And you and Bruce have spoken, but you've never met. And what I'd like to do right now is I would like to introduce you, because you've never seen Bruce. I'm going to unmute Bruce. And I'm going to, Bruce, are you there? Hey, Bruce, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Bruce, I want you to meet, this is Ann Lewis. This is your full-blooded sister.
Yeah, that's pretty
Hi.
mind-blowing. Hello.
So this is crazy. I mean, Ann lives in Southern California. You live in Oregon, really not that far. And one day I'm sure you'll meet. But why don't you tell us, Bruce, you told me that you've been looking for your family and trying to figure this out a long time and had no idea that you even had a full-blooded sister. So let's hear your story real quick.
No, I started about a year ago with an ancestry test. And through that test, I was able to find my maternal grandmother. And that gave me two names of possible birth mothers. But I hadn't found anything that would indicate either one. And my parents, when they met my birth father, he didn't say anything about having another child a few years earlier. So I had no idea. I always wondered if I had, sisters or brothers, and if I did, I figured they'd be half sisters or brothers. Um, I just that was pretty exciting to hear that I had a full-blooded sibling out there.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. And your parents were married to each other. They were married a few years before Anne was born, and also they got divorced right after, a few years after you were born. And apparently each one of them had been married a few more times after that.
Yeah,
now
so
go ahead.
that I really wonder, did they have any? I think this is where further research comes in. Did either of them have, more kids down the line?
So let me tell you what I found out. You both of you have another half sister out there somewhere.
Hmm.
Don't know much about her, and I'm going to bring someone on in a few minutes who maybe can shed that light. But I don't believe Knowlton had any other kids. The guy was married a lot of times, apparently. And
Wow.
we lost track of him in Tucson or Phoenix, Arizona in 2002. Doesn't exist after that. But I did send Anne my notes in an email a little while ago. I don't know if you saw it. It's my entire notes of what I've done on this case. And we looked at your DNA because you shared your DNA with us, Bruce. And
Yes.
you did a good job of your tree. My genealogist actually put a tree together also for your paternal side. We already know the maternal side. And
Great.
everyone in the Knowlton family is in Hawaii. Now, you probably knew that, but everyone is in Hawaii. There's no one in the United States that we could find. No one.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, wait, Hawaii is in the United States.
In the mainland United States.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I meant the mainland. My bad for the Hawaiians. But yes, that's a little complicated. And then obviously when Anne gets her results back, it'll show that you're a full-blooded sister, brother and sister. If it comes back where you're not related at all, then we have a problem. Then someone lied on their birth certificate. But I really, based on what I found out in the birth records, you both have the same maternal last name and the same paternal last name. So doing this for 38 years, I know that you guys are full-blooded relatives unless something weird happened. I don't see any other way. But what surprised you most about this, either one of you? This whole process, about what you found out, how this went about, and especially my phone call to you, Bruce. How did you react to that?
Well, I was actually surprised that the information you found and how fast you found it. Because myself and another distant relative, he was helping me also track down relatives, and we didn't come up with what you did. We were kind of hit a dead end. So it was pretty great what you were able to find out.
So
it fills in a lot of blanks.
Right. So when I gave you this information, did you believe it at first, or were you a little skeptical?
I had a tendency to believe it. It will be great when we see the complete DNA match proven out by the DNA tests. But I mean, when we have the same father and mother's name, that's pretty much 99% right there.
Right. So I shared this with Anne, but I did not share it with you, Bruce. I'm going to do this right now. Are you ready? Your birth mother
you
on
found
the left.
Pictures.
That's your birth mother on the left.
On the left.
And
Fantastic.
that's your aunt Ellen on the right. Look at these beautiful ladies.
How old are they? Do you know?
I actually don't, but we're going to find that out shortly. I mean, look at these ladies. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm going to show you another picture. This is your birth mother and your grandfather.
Huh.
Oh.
So her father?
That's her father.
Okay.
That's
Huh.
their real father. By the way, you probably didn't know this, but both of them were adopted.
Wow.
They were also adopted and they met later on. You're going to find out more in a little bit. I'm going to give you these pictures later on, but I wanted to surprise you with these pictures now. I mean, look,
Yeah, that's great.
it's pretty amazing. So that's that. So here's what I'm going to do right now. So bear with me, mind you, this is going to be edited. So I'm going to make a phone call right now. Are you ready? Hi, Ellen.
Wow.
Yes.
Ellen,
Am I on Facebook?
you're on FaceTime. And you know what? I don't know what you can see, but I have on the line with me your niece and your nephew, Ann and Bruce. Can you see them now?
Oh, yes. Oh, you look just like Julia.
Oh, wow. Doesn't she?
Look at Bruce.
Wow.
Bruce. Hi. Oh, it works
Hello.
here. That's Ann, not Bruce.
So I'm surprising them because they did not know you were going to be on this call whatsoever. And I know you don't know how to use, you have FaceTime, but you don't know how to use Zoom, which is fine. This is sufficient. I can see you pretty good. But you look beautiful. I mean, the whole family, what a good looking family, I'll tell you. And
I'm trying to see the Ann, Bruce, they're cut off, sort of.
how about now?
Oh, really?
Is that
That's better right there.
okay? So Ellen, you go by Ellen. Your first name is Barbara. Your middle name is Ellen, but you go by Ellen. And I promised I would call you Ellen because that's what you want to be called. And you live in Florida, but they don't know the full story of anything really. So why don't you whatever you can share with us right now about your sister, the circumstances of your separation, and the whole story in a nutshell, because we have a few minutes. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, we were put in a lot of foster homes up until we were about 5 and 6, and then our father found out what our mother was doing, and he took us and put us in a Masonic home, and told my mother that she could not get us out unless she married a Mason, because he figured that the Mason would be a good husband, you know. I'm having trouble seeing Bruce. And so we went with our adopted us. The man's name was McHugh, McCue. And so we were adopted, and I was 11 when we were adopted, so she was 10. And then we moved that was in Oklahoma. We moved from Oklahoma to California. And I remember laying in the back seat of the car, we were driving into California. And I remember looking up and I saw palm trees. And I said, oh, palm tree. I'd never seen one before. It was really strange. But anyway, our mother kept us pretty much apart while we were growing up. She put us in separate schools. She didn't let us go out together or do anything together, really. So it was a very dysfunctional family. And she, of course, divorced the man she married soon after she got us out of the orphanage. And she married several people, quite a few, 6, I think, or more. And that's what I know about.
Now, when I called you, Ellen, when I called you a couple of weeks ago and told you who I was, you did not know that your sister had passed away, did you?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, she passed away in 2016, but we don't know what she passed away from. We don't know where she lived either.
No, I don't. I didn't know. I didn't even know. I tried to find her, but I couldn't. She didn't want to be found.
But what I found out was that she had married a guy later on who was probably 20 to 30 years older than her.
Yeah, that was Hank, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they lived in Colorado. And I reached out to his family, and they were estranged from him. He's got a son, a junior, And I spoke to his family. They've been estranged for years and have had no idea what happened to their father. He wound up dying, but they didn't really know your sister at all. They didn't know anything about her, so they weren't helpful.
They weren't even living there. Oh, you look so much like Julia. I can't believe it. The way your mouth goes when you're looking at someone, that's amazing.
Isn't that just, doesn't that give you the chills? Seriously.
Pickles and everything. That's amazing.
Wow.
Look, Bruce, you look more like our uncle, Uncle Glenn.
Oh, okay.
My father's sister's husband.
Positive things, perhaps, that you can share with Ann and Bruce about your sister that they could remember.
She was a fantastic piano player. She had a perfect pitch. She didn't sing. I sang. I was one that was a singer, but she could play the piano beautifully, and she was very pretty, but neither one of us were allowed to date, so we don't know how to communicate, you know. But she was brilliant. She used to read the dictionary for fun. Just because she was so intelligent. She learned 5 languages. She was a bookkeeper, an accountant. She was in movies.
Really? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was in 2 or 3 movies. I don't remember the name of them. One of the movies that I remember had 3 names. Was the name of the movie? It was 3 names: Billy, Joe, and Grace, or something like that.
We'll have to look that one up. That's wild.
Yeah, she was in the theater. I don't know anything else about her.
That's fine. Now, you did not know anything about the birth father of Ann and Bruce, did you?
I'm not sure if that is the little. I didn't give you a picture of him, but he was a shorter man than Julia. Julia was 5'10", and he was shorter. He came up a little above her shoulders, and she was with him longer than anybody else, I think.
By the way, now that you said that, the non-identifying information that Ann gave me, I don't know if you knew this, Bruce, the birth father was short, brown hair, hazel eyes, 28 years old. That could be the guy.
I have a picture of him. I didn't send it to you, but that's the one I have a picture of.
Oh, that would be great, because they'd love to see that. And if that's the right guy, then that's it. If we don't know what happened to him, I was explaining that to him earlier, but a picture would really be nice. And if we're talking between 1957 and 1962, most likely. Those were the times.
My cat doesn't like the telephone.
No, that's fine. I hope this gives them closure, peace of mind, new beginnings, whichever one of those 3 I'm satisfied with. And having you in their lives now, this is wonderful, I would imagine. And they have your phone number, they have your contact. So, so this, we wanted to do this live on Zoom, just so you guys can see each other and talk. And then from moving forward, we can you guys can do this. Is there anything else before we hang up with Ellen? I know you're going to talk to her again in the future, but for this podcast, is there anything else you want to say to her or ask her?
Well, it's great to meet you, Ellen. I look forward to talking to you and getting to know you.
Oh, me too. I couldn't believe I have a family actually that talks to each other. that how to communicate with somebody. I'm not real good at communicating, but I try hard.
Well, Ellen, you're doing a very good job today. I must thank you.
Well, I'm 80 years old, and this is quite a shock.
Well, you look fantastic, healthy, and happiness to you moving forward. And we'll be in touch. All right.
Okay, Bruce, do you have anything you want to ask me?
I'm just thanks for coming on so we can see you and talk to you. It's great.
Oh, I certainly hope that I can meet both of you together sometime.
Well, you
That'd be
probably would have to either, well, they can come to you or you can come out to the West Coast. That's you guys
Yeah.
figure that one out when it's okay to do that. But okay, I'm gonna let you go. I'll let you go. And we'll be in touch. All right?
Okay,
Okay. Thanks.
all right.
Bye-bye. Well, how was that, guys?
See if I move a little
Pretty
more.
wild. She wasn't shy. I mean, she was a little apprehensive at first, but then she really opened up, didn't she?
Yeah,
And did she tell you things that you didn't know, right?
right. I'm a bit confused, but I figure I'll clarify things.
Yeah, I think she talked a little too much about her mother. But that's okay. I mean, I think she
Well, that's okay. That's just
Yeah,
getting to know what the family history is about.
yeah, I'm
Exactly.
confused about the upbringing, quite confused.
it was very confusing and it seemed toxic. Those aren't my words from talking to her earlier. But I mean, look, I mean, the best thing for both of you was that you were both adopted to great families. And look at you guys. I mean, you've had wonderful lives, and it would have been very different if you weren't adopted. It would be very different. You could be in and out of foster care. You know, I mean, you don't know, but I mean, it all worked out. I mean, I look at Ellen. She seems fine. I mean, she got out of there and moved to Florida, but I don't know her family history. I didn't get into that with her. Didn't think it was necessary, but but moving forward, I'm hoping you guys just get to know each other better. Obviously, you've spoken on the phone before. And Ann was telling me that. What were you telling me, Ann?
Bruce, you were really easy to talk to, and you just sounded so nice and just
Mhm.
very, just, I don't know how to explain it. Just was really nice to talk to you.
Oh, well, thank you. I enjoyed talking to you. It's just exciting to get to talk to and meet relatives. You know, you always wondered if you had, and all of a sudden they're here now.
And Bruce, do you have any kids?
Yes, I have a son and a daughter. My daughter I adopted, and then wife and I had Nicholas. So yes, they're doing well.
Wonderful. And what did they say when you told them the story that you found your family?
I haven't told them the whole story yet.
They don't know.
No, they knew I was looking for relatives, but I wanted to let this play out a little bit, so I had more information to give them. So I'm going to talk to my mother, and at some point I'll talk to my kids.
And how about you, Ann? I know you got a son and a daughter, correct?
I do, son and daughter, and yes, I've told them about it. They're kind of jazzed. They're kind of excited to have the family grow. So it's good. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is a good feeling for me because it's what we do. We bring people together. Sometimes these stories don't go well. This, even unfortunately, your birth mother has passed, but we brought you two together. We brought Ellen to you guys, and she seems great. And I'm just glad you were able to. I'm glad. Thank you for holding out for this, because it's been what, a week and a half since I said hold out before you guys FaceTime each other and meet each other. And I know a lot of people don't want to do that, but I'm very glad you did. I want to thank both of you, and I want to hopefully that you guys can get together real soon when it's safe.